Everyone's gonna whip away the stuff tomorrow. We saw
I can help you there.
No, you're supposed to go. Yeah, you gotta do this. Like we all do it. Remember you bought it out?
Your size?
Yeah.
That's okay, I wasn't seeing any use anyway.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you. No. Really.
Where's the front? About to head for practice.
Oh my God.
Thank you. Well, I couldn't find the opening.
Did Danny Penelope have underwear on today? He said he did. I don't think he did. I wasn't. It was almost dark.
It's all on tape, Tom.
Oh.
Rush that copy over.
Dave, we're gonna have to do this and edit it.
We're gonna have to rate this thing.
You can say that. You can say that these days, can't you?
Right.
You can say condom.
You're the one too, right?
Say condom. You can make a commercial out of it.
I mean, you're not.
Did you ever see the one with the guy putting his socks on?
Yeah. No. That's what I meant. No.
No, yes, I am running for president again.
Great. I'll wear new clothes tomorrow.
Get my
Guys, I'll wear new clothes tomorrow. Tom wears boxers. Morning wear her CD. Morning wear her CD. I'm thirsty.
Don't give your gifts.
Sophomore. I'll popscar. Slice.
Didn't we get any pop?
It's gonna go splattering over me.
Let me put the glass close.
Do you want slice or Pepsi? I'm giving you Pepsi.
Blood.
Yeah.
Is it empty?
Refreshment curve, hard at work.
Come on, everyone. Let's begin. Shakespeare, the notorious poacher, capitalist, and sexual adventurer. But I'd just like to warn you, you might have to make some allowances. In a play of nearly 30 speaking parts, we are but 6 or 7, and not among the best. You have the advantage. You are perhaps imaginary. We are, unfortunately, as far as we can tell, quite embarrassingly real. We are consequently mortal, which means we're dying right before your cruel little, closely set, beady imaginary eyes. Frightening, isn't it? But man must endure his going hence, even as his coming hither. At least that's what I keep trying to tell myself, anyway. All the world's a stage, and so from hour to hour we ripe and ripe, and then from hour to hour we rot and rot. And thereby aims, with any luck at all, a tale. A tale.
What shall we have that killed the deer? His leather skin and horns to wear. Then sing ye him the home. Take thou no scorn to wear the horn. It was a crest ere thou was born. Thy father's father wore it, and thy father bore it. The horn, the lusty horn, is not a thing to laugh to scorn. The orchard of Oliver's house smells like rain and wet, rotten apples. Bird noises in the green wet. Anemic birds with twisted feet. Arthritic apple trees. Reptilians slithering in the weeds. And there a praying mantis grabs a grasshopper and bites him in the stomach! Oliver's younger brother Orlando and the 147-year-old servant Adam discuss life in hard times with the wicked Duke Frederick's dukedom. A dukedom, as Shakespeare tells us, is a Greek invocation to call fools to a circle. Sort of like a play. Shakespeare says that...
Rosalind, we can start now.
The play.
As I remember, Adam, it was charged my brother upon his blessing to breed me well. And then, I'm the youngest son of Sir Roland de Boys. He was my father, and he is traced the villain who said, such a father begot village. Well, down now, my brother, I would not take this hand from thy throat till the other I pulled out thy tongue for saying so.
Sweet master, be patient. For your father's remembrance, be at the court.
Let me go, I say! Let me go!
You shall hear me. My father charged you in his will to give me good education. You have trained me like a peasant, obscuring and hiding from me all gentleman-like qualities. The spirit of my father grows strong in me and I will no longer endure it. Therefore, allow me such exercises as may become a gentleman, or give me the poor lottery. My father left me by testament. With that, I'll go buy my fortunes.
What should I do? Back when that is spent? Well, sir, get you in. I will not long be troubled with you. You shall have some part of your will. I pray you, leave me.
I'm no further offended than becomes me for my good.
Get you with him, you old dog.
Is old dog married one? Most true, I have lost my teeth in your service. God be with my old master. He would never spoke.
They say he's already in the forest of Arden, and many merry men with him. And there they live like the old Robin Hood of England. They say many young gentlemen flock to him every day and fleet the time carelessly as they did in the golden world. You wrestle tomorrow before the new duke? Yeah, right, sure. Marry do I, sir. And I'm given secretly to understand that your brother Orlando had the... But should I anatomize him truly as he is? I must blush and weep, and thou must feel pain and wonder. And I'm heartily glad I came hither to you. This gamester. I hope I shall see an end of him. For my soul, yet I know not why, hates nothing more than he. Yet he's gentle. Never schooled and yet learned. Full of noble device, of all sorts enchantingly beloved. And so much in the heart of my own people, who best know him, that I want to get them as prized. But it shall not be so long. This wrestler shall clear all.
Boy, what a stinker you are! Shame on you! Shame, shame, shame! Does your mother know you act like that?
I'm not doing this alone, sweetheart.
Aubrey.
Ooh, it's a shame there.
It's your big debut. Bright lights, fame, fortune, every girl's dream. Isn't it exciting?
I need a drink.
No, none of that. We're going to be a wonderful Rosalind. Our Rosalind is, well, up very much. We're all counting on you. Even Celia. Are you about ready, Celia? Not going to pout, are you? So boring when you pout.
Sweet Rose, my dear Rose, be merry. From henceforth I will cut and devise sport. What think you of falling in love? I really do to make sport, but love romantic and earnest. Nor no further in sport thou mayst not come off again. Doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun. Just say your lines, you don't improvise. Celia's father, the wicked Duke Frederick!
How now, daughter, cousin? See if you can move him.
Sir, have you challenged Charles, the wrestler?
No fair, princess! No fair, princess. He is the general challenger. I come running as the others do to try with him the strength of my youth.
Young gentleman, your spirits are too bold for your years. You'll see cruel proof of this man's strength. We pray you for your own sake to embrace your own safety and give over this attempt. Do, young sir, and we will make it our suit to the Duke that this wrestling might not go forward.
I confess me much guilty to deny such fair and excellent ladies hand. For let your fair eyes and gentle wishes go with me to my trial, wherein if I be foiled, there is but one shame that was never gracious, if killed, for one that is willing to be so. I shall do my friends no harm, for I have none to lament with. The world, no injury, for in it I have nothing. Only in the world I fill up a place which may be better supplied when I have made it empty.
That was pretty good, William. With the little strength I have, I would have war with you. And mine to eke out hers. Charles, the Duke's wrestler!
Ho! Come, where is this young gallant that is so desirous to lie with his mother, Earth?
You mean to mock me after? You should not have mocked me before. Come your ways.
The match of the century! Go get him, killer.
No more! No more!
As I beseech your grace, I am not yet well breathed.
How dost thou, Charles?
I cannot speak, my lord.
What is thy name, young man?
Huh? What?
What is thy name, young man?
What do you mean it's sorrow? Orlando, my liege, the youngest son of Sir Rowland de Bois.
The world esteemed thy father honorable, but I did still find him mine enemy. Thou shouldst please me better with this deed, as thou descended from another house.
My father's rough and envious disposition sticks me at my heart. So you have well deserved. If you do keep your promises in love, justly as you've exceeded all promise, your mistress shall be happy. Gentlemen, wear this for me, one attitude of fortune that could give more but that our hand lacks means. Shall we go, cuz?
Can I not say I thank you? My better parts are all thrown down. And that which here stands up is but a quintain, a mere lifeless block.
He calls us back. My pride fell in my fortune. I'll ask him what he would. Did you call, young sir? Sir, you have wrestled well and overthrown more. Your Highness took his dupe. So was I when your Highness banished him. It is not inherited, my lord. I was too young that time to guide her. But now I know her. If she be a traitor, so am I. We still have slept.
They pity her. Thou art a fool. She robs thee of thy name. And thou wilt show more bright, and see more virtuous when she...
Like a man, a gallant curtleax on my thigh, a forked spear in my hand, and in my heart lies there what hidden women fear their will. Oh, we'll have a smashing and a martial outside, as many other mannish cowards have. What shall I call thee when thou art a man? I'll have no worse a name than Job's own page. And look, you call me Ganymede. Well, what would you be called? Something that hath a reference to my state. No longer Celia. Celia. Cousin, would it be a safe still? Not so banishment.
There, you see?
It was a lover and his laugh. That o'er the green cornfield they passed. In springtime, the only pretty ring time, when birds do sing, ding-a-ding-ding, sweet lovers love the spring. Between the acres of the rhyme, these pretty country folks would lie. In springtime, the only pretty ring time, when birds do sing, ding-a-ding-ding, sweet lovers love the spring. This carol they began this hour with how that life was but a flower. In springtime, the only pretty ring time, when birds do sing, ding-a-ding-ding, sweet lovers love the spring. And therefore take the present time with leaves sway. Fern and dragonfly pathways twist in moss and honeysuckle. Bubble of water on rock, cricket blade, is shimmered to sun and kiss. Cool wet with shade and stillness. Hummingbird, robins warble, jays scream, rat and eye, sheep bleat, greedy bush, rock bell, sniffles, deer tunes. Jumps and huddles the rank vegetation of the wet, green, golden world. This is the forest of Arden. The good Duke, father to Rosalind, and his faithful lord companions, Dobie and Sneezy.
Now, my co-mates and brothers in exile, hath that old custom made this life more sweet than that of painted pomp? Are not these woods more free from peril than the envious court? Here feel we but the penalty of Adam, the season's difference, as the icy fang and churlish chiding of winter's wind, which when it bites and blows upon my body, even till I shrink with cold, I smile and say, this is no flattery. These are counselors that feelingly persuade me what I am. Sweet are the uses of adversity, which like the toad, ugly and venomous, wears yet a precious jewel in his head. And this our life, exempt from public haunt, finds tongues in trees, books in the running brooks, sermons in stone, and good in everything. I would not change it.
Happy is your grace. It can translate the stubbornness of fortune to so quiet and so sweet a style.
Come, shall we go and kill its venison? And yet it irks me that these poor dappled fools, being native burghers to this desert city, should in their own compounds with forked heads find their round hutches gored.
Indeed, my lord. The melancholy Jake screams at that and swears that you before usurped him up your brother and had banished you. Today, my lord of Amiens and myself did steal behind him as he lay along, under an oak, whose ancient root peeps out upon the brook that crawls along his wood, to the which place a poor sequestered stag, that from the hunter's aim hath taken a hurt, is come to languish. And indeed, my lord, that wretched animal depart the flux of company. Anon, a careless herd full of the pasture jumps along by him. Aye, quoth Jakes, sweep on, you fat and greasy citizens. 'Tis just a fashion. Wherefore do you look upon that poor and broken? I do love her.
I partly guess, but I loved her though.
No, Corin. Thee old thou canst not guess. Though in thy youth thou wast as true a lover as ever sighed upon the midnight pillow. But if thy love were ever like to mine, as sure I think to never man love so. How many actions most ridiculous hast thou been drawn to by thy fantasy?
Into 1,000 that I have forgotten.
If thou rememberest not the slightest folly that ever love could make thee run into, thou hast not loved. If thou hast not sat as I do now, wearing thy hearer and thy mistress' praise, thou hast not loved. If thou hast not broke from company abruptly as my passion now makes me, thou hast not loved. Oh, Phoebe.
Alas, poor shepherd, searching out thy wound, I have by hard adventure found my own.
And I mine. Well, I remember when I was in love, I broke my sword upon the stone and bid him take that forthcoming night to Shelley Toohey. And I remember the kissing of her back and the cow studs that her pretty chopped hands had milked. And I remember the wooing of a peas cod instead of her, from whom I took 2 cards, then giving of them again said with weeping tears, wear these for my sake. We that are true lovers went into strange capers, but as all is mortal in nature, so is all nature in love mortal in love.
Job, the shepherd's passion is much upon my fashion.
And buy with your gold right suddenly. Rosalind. Rosalind.
The banquet scene! The melancholy Jakes is entertained by a ruby minstrels. Under the greenwood tree,
care much for that crack you made.
What crack?
It's like cheating. It's like being somebody and not somebody at the same time. And more than once. And the further we go, more it's like I don't know who I'm supposed to be. Except that sometimes it's all right anyway.
Oh, that's good, isn't it?
I don't know if it is or not.
You know, he caught my pancakes and mustard streets too. The man is ruthless. Hey, Roz, how long have you been crazy?
What time is it now?
Have you been born crazy, or is it something you've got to work at every day?
Didn't you suck him apricot?
You stop bothering Rosalind.
I wasn't bothering Rosalind.
Not you two.
Just don't let you on make cracks like that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I get confused is all, and sometimes I wonder if I have any control over what happens.
You were wonderful, dear. Really.
I know I was.
Audrey, what are you sitting with him for? You always sit over here with me.
That was before I became a star.
You don't like me, do you?
I don't think about you one way or the other.
Rejected again. A clown's life is tragic, really. There's heartache behind the grease paint. Laugh, clown, laugh.
Does it have something to do with the night we got drunk together?
Drop the subject.
Sometimes it's like I'm not really anything. Or that I'm somebody I can't remember.
You know, sometimes when a man and a woman are put that
Ah, creep.
It's like I really don't belong here in this place, in this body. It's like I'm really somebody else. Someplace, something else. Except I can't remember.
How are you, Rosalind? Wonderful. I have peanut butter and fluff. See? Great. Oh, would you like to suck on my apricot? No, thank you.
You know, I'm developing a theory that the only real human beings are women. Men are just an optical illusion. A kind of subspecies. A sort of metaphysical abortion. Beat it, creep. Women don't need us, you know. They can have female babies all on their own. It's true. Look it up. Anytime they wanted to, they could all get together, declare war on us, and wipe us all out. Just like that. The only reason they have us apart is because they feel sorry for us. And why is nobody listening to me?
You can't just get up and walk away from me like that when I'm talking to you.
I just did. Watch me do it again.
All right, children. You know you're fond of each other. Why make it difficult? Life is short. Life is fragile. Gather your rosebuds.
Yeah, but she treats me like dirt.
You are dirt. Dust thou art, none to dust, etc., etc. She's dirt too. We're all dirt. We belong together.
Why can't she at least treat me like nice dirt?
Now, I read once that life is like an onion.
She's unhappy with you because you're a fourth string hero. She's unhappy with herself because she's a second string heroine. And she's unhappy with me because I know everything.
You can peel away the layers, but you never get to the center, and in the end, it only makes you cry.
Oh, that's a beautiful thought.
So why do the good guys kill the deer?
It's kind of stupid, but it's beautiful.
It's not easy for Celia, being infatuated with a twerp like you.
Why can't you both just leave me alone? Why can't one just leave me alone?
You don't really want to be Rosalind, dear. You just think you do. If you were Rosalind, you'd want to be somebody else.
Who wants to be Rosalind? God, I love peanut butter and fluff. Don't you love fluff and peanut butter? They increase sexual potency, you know. It means you should try.
Why don't you two just sit down and try to discuss your love lives in the few minutes we have remaining? Bearing in mind as you do, that if you allow it to interfere with the show any everyone.
Listen, William, if you ever need anything.
Romeo and Juliet is next week, kids. Let's move it.
Oh, nobody wanted my apricot. I ate it myself. It was delicious.
Rosalind, we're ready.
I'm not ready.
Why aren't you ready? Why didn't you think of that before?
Ready before.
Make it fast. Not there! Over there! Where do you think you're going?
I gotta powder my nose urgently.
Me too, Coach.
Wait a minute! If you people want to be actors, you've got to develop some willpower. Make it fast. It's not like the old days. There's going to be a brief hiatus here in the midst of this fiasco, while my people communicate with nature. You might also be inclined. Feel free. But do come back. We need you. Excuse me. Suffer and treat! Suffer and treat!
Set thing in here. We don't have any of this. Why did they feel out working for this stuff? We don't have any of this. It's this stuff with the lines on it. You know what I mean? Yeah. They had to fill a lot of lines for this. took a still of the one guy and I moved him across the stage. Well, the select button is for things. Frame with them. If you want to do the wipes. First, you know, clean up the stroke. If you want to do a wipe, set the wipe, whichever one you want. 2 or 3. Once you start the work.
I remember supposed to do that.
No, it's just the last thing that you, when you turned it off, the last thing it was pointed at, that's what it starts with.
Right.
Every eye, in this forest looks, shall see thy virtual witness everywhere. Lack of the sun.
Was there a court, Shepard?
No, truly.
Then thou art damned, like an ill-roasted egg, all on one side.
For not being a court, your reason.
If thou never was a court, then thou never sawest good manners. If thou never sawest good manners, thy manners must be wicked. Wickedness is a sin, and sin is damnation. Thou art gonna file a state, Shepard.
Not a whit. For those behaviors at court are as remarkable in the country as those country behaviors are ridiculous at court. We said you do not salute at court, but you kiss your hand. That courtesy would be
Has found a comb on a tree. I think a sycamore tree. The sap's running. Isn't this exciting? From east to western inn.
No jewel is like Rosin. Her worth being mounted on the wind, through all the world bears Rosin.
Yuck! I'll rhyme you so 8 years together. Dinners and suppers and sleeping hours expected.
Ouch, fool.
For a taste. If the heart will lack a hind, let him seek out Rosaline. If the cat will after kind, so be sure we're Rosaline. Sweetest nut and sourest rind, such a nut is Rosaline. He that sweetest grows will find, must find love's prick and Rosaline. These are the very tall skeletal verses. Why do you infect yourself with them?
I found them on a tree.
Truly the tree yields bad fruit.
Pete, here comes my sister reading. Stand aside. Why should this a desert be?
Tongues I'll hang on every tree, Helen's cheek, but not her heart. Cleopatra's majesty, adamant is better.
Please, here we skip this and get on to the good stuff.
Come along, Shepard, let's make an honorable retreat.
Don't worry, folks. It gets better, trust me. Didst thou hear these verses without wondering how thy name should be painted and carved upon these trees? Look here, what I found
found him under a tree like a dropped acorn, furnished like a hunter. Oh, ominous, he comes to kill my heart.
Oh, God, do you believe this?
I like this part. I think it's romantic.
How is he not here? Sleep by him, old Tom. I'll speak to him like a saucy lackey and under the habit of the neighbor. Do you hear, Forster?
Very well, what would you?
I pray you. Here in the skirts of the forest like a fringe on a petticoat.
Your accent is something finer than can be purchased and so removed. I dwell.
An old religious uncle of mine taught me to speak. He was in his youth an inland man, one who knew his courtship too well, for to his there he fell in love. I heard him read many lectures against it, and I thank God I am. There is a man who hunts the forest to abuse his young plants by carving Rosalind on their barks, hangs odes upon hawthorns and elegies on brambles, all forsooth to find the name Rosalind. If I could find this fancy monger, I could give him some good counsel, for he seems to have the quotidian of love upon him.
Wait, what's a quotidian?
I am not he that is so love-shaped. I pray you, tell me your remedy.
Nay, there are none of my uncle's marks upon you. He taught me to know a man in love, in which cage of brushes I am sure you are not the prisoner.
What were his marks?
Lean cheek, which you have not. Blue eyes and sunken, which you have not. An unquestionable spirit, which you have not. A beard neglected, which you have not. Your hose should be unguarded, your bonnet unband, your sleeve unbuttoned, your shoe untied, and everything. And I be but a moonish shoe. Be effeminate, changeable, thongy, liking, proud, tactful, shallow, achish, incontinent, full of tears, full of smiles. For every passion something, for no passion truly anything. As boys and women are, for the most part, cattle of this color. Would now like him, now loathe him, then entertain him, then forswear him, now weep for him, then spit at him. As I drain my suitors from this mad humor of love into a living humor of madness, which was to forswear this full stream and to live in a nook, merely monastic. And thus I'm Jordan, and I will take it upon myself to cleanse your liver as clean as a sound sheep's heart, so there is not one spot of love in it. If you would but call me Rosalind, and come every day to my home to woo me.
That was terrific!
Wasn't it?
I shall fetch up your goats, Audrey. And how, Audrey? Am I the man yet?
I just finished.
You're Audrey.
I'm Rosalind.
A minute ago you're Rosalind, dear. Now you're Audrey.
I'm Rosalind. I'm a good Rosalind. I'm a wonderful Rosalind.
Great. Well, you get a gold star. Very nice.
Tooth and nail to get where I am today, and no one's going to take it away.
And how, Audrey? Am I the man yet? Does my simple features content you?
Oh, your features? Lord, your features.
I'm here with thee and thy goats. As the most capricious poet, honest Ovid was among the gods. Get it? Goats, gods? My class humor, but. When a man's verses cannot be understood, nor a man's good wit seconded with the forward child understanding, strikes a man more dead than a great reckoning in a little room. Truly I would the gods had made me poetical.
Oh, but I do not know what poetical is. Is it honest? Is it a true thing? I am not there, therefore I pray thee make it honest.
To cast away honesty upon such a foul slut would have put good meat into an unclean dish.
Oh, I am not a slut. I take the gods I am foul.
Praise be the gods for thy foulness. Sluttishness may come hereafter. Be that as it may, I will marry thee. And to that end, I have met with Sir Oliver Martins, the vicar of the next village, who has promised to meet us here in this place in the forest and to couple us.
Oh, the gods give us joy.
Amen. Here comes Sir Oliver Martins. You're well met, sir. Will you dispatch us here under the street, or shall we go with you to your chapel?
Is there none to give the woman? Surely she must be given, or the marriage is not lawful. Proceed, thou children.
Good evening, good master, whatever your name is. How do you do, sir? You are very well met, sir. God build you for your last company, sir. Even a toy in hand here, sir. Cover thy head.
Sire, before we. This very hair is of a dissembling color. religiously. The very ice of chastity is in them.
But why did he swear he would come this morning and he comes not?
Nay, simply there is no truth in him.
Do you think so?
I think he is not a pickpurse nor a horse stealer. But for his verity in love, I do find him as concave as a covered goblet, or a worm-eaten nut.
Not true in love, but you heard him swear downright that he was.
Was his, not his.
Mistress and master, if you will see a pageant truly played, between the pale complexion of love and the red glow of proud disdain, go hence a little.
Enter Sylvius and Phoebe, another part of the forest.
Phoebe, that stormy Phoebe, say that you love me not, but say not so in bitterness. A common executioner falls not the axe upon the humble neck that first makes bar.
I would not be thine executioner. I fly thee, for I would not enter thee.
Phoebe, if ever you should be something.
I pray you, who might be your mother, that you insult, exalt, and all at once over the wretched? What thou, you have no beauty. By my faith I see no more in you. Then without candle you shall go dark to bed. Must you therefore be proud and pitiless? Why, what means this? Why does she look upon me?
I think she means to tangle my eyes too.
Oh, proud mistress, hope not after it. 'Tis not your bugle eyeballs nor your cheek of green that came my spirit to your worship. Shepherd, wherefore do you follow her, like a foggy south, puffing with wind and rain? You are 1,000 times a more proper a man than she a woman. 'Tis fools like you who fill this world with ill-favored children. 'Tis not the class but you that flatters her, and out of you she feels more proper than any her loving can show her. For mistress, know yourself, down on your knees, and thank heaven vastly for this man's good love. I must whisper friendly in your ear, sell when you can, you are not for all market. Take his offer. Foul, foul, being foul, too, yes, God. Sweet youth, I should rather hear you chide than this man. Ooh. Oh, I pray you, do not fall in love with me, for I am fouler than vows made with wine. Besides, I like thee not. Shepherd, play her hard. Shepherdess, look on him better. Sylvius, the time was that I hated thee, and yet it is not that I bear thee love. But since thou canst talk of love so well, thy company, which erst was accident to me, I will endure, and I'll employ thee too. But do not look for further recompense than thy gladness that thou art employed.
So holy and so perfect is my love, I in such a poverty of grace, that I should think it most blenches crop to glean the broken ears, after the man that the main harvest reaps. Lose now and then a scattered smile, that I live upon.
Who is so youth and spoke to me a while?
Not very well.
Holy letter, and thou shalt bear it. Wilt thou, Sylvia?
Phoebe, with all my heart.
I'll ride it straight. Go with me.
Do you notice how I didn't interrupt you, Dad, but plain as day, another bird nest.
Your Rosalind.
It pleases me to call you so because I would be talking of her.
Whatever person I say I will not have you.
Well, then in my own person I die.
Oh, no, then. Die by attorney. This poor world is almost 6,000 years old, and in all this time no man has ever died in his own person in a love cause. Men die from time to time and worms have eaten them, but not for love. Therefore I'll be your Rosalind in a more coming on disposition. And ask me what you will, and I will grant it.
Then love me, Rosalind.
Oh, yes, faith. Fridays and Saturdays and all.
Wilt thou have me?
I am twice such.
What sayest thou?
Are you not good? First, must begin with you, Orlando. Will you, Orlando, have me this way?
I will.
But when?
Why now? As fast as she can marry.
So you must say, I take thee, Rosalind, for wife.
Take thee, Rosalind, for wife.
Now you must tell me, how long will you have her once you possessed her?
Forever and a day.
You don't know, Orlando. Men are April when they woo, December when they wed. Maids are May are disposed to be married, I will laugh like a Highland, thou art right.
Will my Rosalind do so?
By my life, the wives of the waywarder.
For these 2 hours, Rosalind, I will leave thee.
Oh, alas, dear love, I cannot let thee 2 hours.
Must bid the Duke to dinner. By 2 o'clock, I'll be with thee again. Right?
Oh, go your way, go your way. Knew what you would prove. My friends told me as much. Oh, that flattering tongue of yours won me, won me. Did but one cast away, and so comes death. 2 o'clock is your hour.
Aye, sweet Rosalind.
If you break one jot of your promise, or come 1 minute behind your hour, I will think thee the most pathetic of break promise, the most howl of lovers, the most unworthy of her you call Rosalind, which may be chosen out of the gross bands of the unfaithful. Beware my sons, keep your promise.
With no less will
Know how many times I am in love. Oh, but it must not be sounded. My love hath an unknown bottom like the Bay of Portugal.
Did it again. I couldn't help myself.
I know.
I guess it wouldn't be like this if I wasn't crazy, huh?
I guess not.
Sometimes, I think the reason why I interrupt so much is that I wish I could go back and remember my lines and be like a normal person and everything.
Would you like that?
You can't go back and you can't catch up.
That's true.
You gotta give up something to get something.
That's right.
You're really sort of a monster, aren't you, Shakespeare?
Creation is monstrous. It holds the mirror up to nature. Nature is monstrous.
I love you anyhow.
I know you do.
But it's so depressing.
Listen, what do you say we give old Jakes another try?
Softly.
By popular request, Jakes takes another crack at it.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and entrances, and one part in his act plays many times. His age being 7 acts, his acts being first of you parties, right? Cut!
I've got a mental blank or something.
Let's just try to forget about it.
Sylvius brings a message from Phoebe to her beloved Ganymede, and Orlando is late again. Life is like that.
How say you now? Is it not past 2 o'clock?
I warned you with pure love and troubled brain. He hath taken his bow and arrow and gone forth to sleep.
Let me give you this. Uh-oh. Where's the goddamn letter? I know not the contents, but as I guessed by the stern brow of auspicious action which she did use as she was writing it, as an angry tender, pardon me, I am as a guiltless messenger.
She calls me not fair, that I lack manners. She calls me proud and says she could not love me if never as rare as Phoenix. That's my widow. Her love is not the hair I do hunt. Why writes she so to me? Well, Shepherd, well, this is a letter of your own device.
No, I protest. Phoebe did write it.
Oh, come, you are a fool. I saw her hand. She had a leather hand, a freestone-colored hand. I barely did think that the only love was on, but 'twas her hand. I say she did not invent this letter. This is a man's invention and his hand.
Sure, it is hers.
Will you hear the letter?
Didn't we cut this bread?
Art thou God who shepherds her, that a maiden's heart hath burned? If the scorn of your bright eye, power to raise such love and life, let it be what strange effect would that working man have expect? He that brings this love to me, little knows this love in me. If you by him my love deny, then I shall study how to die.
Oh, is this jiving?
Last worship. Pity? Wilt thou love such a woman to make thee an instrument and play both strains upon thee? Go your ways, love, for I see love is made to tame and say this to her, that if she loves me, I charge her to love me. If she will not, then I will not have her unless thou do true to her. If you be a true lover, hence not a word. Here come more counsel.
Because my pancakes and mustard fish and the leg crack in?
The return of Oliver, Orlando's nasty brother.
Good morrow, fellows. Orlando doth commend him to you both, and to that guilty causes Rosalind, he sends this bloody napkin. Are you he?
I am. What do we understand by this?
Some of my shame, if you will know of me what man I am, and how and why and where this handkerchief was stained.
I pray you tell it.
God, the story of the bloody napkin is an illustrated dumb show. One of the dumbest, in fact. You ready for this?
Do this as fast as you can.
When last the young Orlando parted from you, he left a promise to return again within an hour. And pacing through the forest, chewing the food of sweet and bitter fancy, lo it befell. He threw his eyes aside, and marked what object did present itself. Under an oak whose boughs were mossed with age and high-top clawed with dray antiquity, a wretch-dragged man, o'ergrown with hair, lay sleeping on his back. About his neck, a green and gilded snake had wreathed itself, who with a head nimble in threats approached the opening of his mouth.
All right, stop it, quit!
But suddenly, seeing Orlando, it unlinked itself, and with indented glides did slip away into a bush, under which bush's shade, a lioness with udders all drawn dry, lay couching, head on ground with cat-like watch. This scene, Orlando did approach the man, found it was his brother, his elder brother.
Oh, I have heard speak of that same brother, and he did render him the most unnatural that lived amongst men.
And well he might do so, for well I know he was unnatural.
But to Orlando did you leave him there food for the sucked and hungry lioness?
Twice did he turn his back in purpose so. But kindness, nobler ever than revenge, and nature, stronger than his just occasion, made him do battle to the lioness. Quick they battle before him. In which hurtling from miserable slumber I awake.
Are you his brother? Was it you he rescued? Was it you that did so often try to kill him?
'Twas I, but 'tis not I. I do not shame to tell you what I was, since my conversion so sweetly tastes, being the thing I am.
But for the bloody napkin.
By and by, when from the first to last, betwixt us two, tears our countenance had most kindly bathed. As how I came into that desert place, it briefly led me to the gentle Duke. Gave me fresh array and entertainment. Committing me unto my brother's love, led me instantly unto his cave. There stripped himself.
Yeah, take it off. Come on.
Here upon his arm, the lioness had torn some flesh away, which all this while had bled. Now he fainted. And cried in fainting upon. Rosalind. Brief, I recovered him. Bound up his wounds, and after some small space, being strong at heart, he sent me hither, stranger as I am, to tell this story, that you might excuse his broken promise, and to give this napkin, dyed in his blood, unto that shepherd youth he in sport doth call his Rosalind.
Kill me, cousin, kill me.
You left the man's heart.
Oh, I love
Look, he recovers.
Oh, sirrah, why do you think this well counterfeited? I pray, tell your brother how well counterfeited. Hey, oh.
This is not counterfeit.
Counterfeited.
take a good-hearted counterfeit to be a man.
I know. How you look, Caleb. How you hopeless. Good to know you go with us.
I know this place. Always chose the water in my nose.
Oh, Faith, the priest was good enough. Romeo, gentlemen, say.
A most wicked Sir Oliver, Audrey. A most vile Martex. But, Audrey, there's a youth here in the forest lays claim to you.
Oh, I know who 'tis. He hath no interest to be in the world. Oh, here comes the man you mean. Here comes the man you mean.
Well, go on. Don't tell me you feel like a big star, too.
No, I don't. Well, what then? I can't play with it. It isn't me anymore.
Of course it is. One doesn't outgrow oneself. One simply acquires a larger repertoire of disguises. Go on. She'll still like you.
Rosalind, Audrey, the lioness, I don't even know who she is, let alone who I am. It's all very confusing.
Call her anything you want. She's there and she's waiting. And all you can do is play the scene.
And what if I look ridiculous? What if they laugh at me and say I'm not good? All it takes is one little smear on the face of one little man. The whole thing falls apart, and I'm nothing.
You don't have time to stop and worry about it. You can't go back and you can't catch up. All we can do is think on the run. Now, play the scene. Clown, go.
It is meat and drink for me to see a clown. By my troth, we that have good wits have much to answer for.
Good evening, Audrey.
Good evening, William.
And good evening to you too, sir.
Good evening, friend. Cover thy head, cover thy head. Nay, friendly, be covered. How old are you, friend?
5 and 20, sir.
Ah, right age. So from hour to hour we ripe and ripe. Then from hour to hour we rot and rot. And thereby hangs... Is thy name William?
I will, sir.
Ah, fair name. Was born here in the forest?
I thank God.
Thank God. A good answer. Art thou rich?
Faith, sir, so-so.
So-so is good. So-so is very good. Very excellent good. And yet it is not. It is but so-so. Art thou wise?
I have a pretty wit.
I do not remember a saying. The fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool. The heathen philosopher, when he had a desire to eat a grape, would open his mouth when he put it into it, thereby meaning that grapes are meant to eat and lips to open. You do love this man?
I do, sir.
Give me your hand. Art thou learned?
No, sir.
Then learn this of me. To have is to have, for it is a figure of rhetoric that drink is being poured out of a cup into a glass by filling the one doth empty the other. I am he, sir, that must marry this woman. Therefore you, clown, abandon.
married, sir.
Wasn't I supposed to win that one?
The master seeks you, Audrey. Trip, Audrey.
I can't stand it. Everything I touch turns to bad shit. I can't act. I'm not funny. I can't fight. Women walk all over me. I can't kiss like him. I spend most of my time up in my room watching my fish eat each other. You're the only friend I've got in the whole world, Rosalind, and you're a lunatic. Sometimes I think life just isn't worth living.
You're probably right.
Sometimes I feel like impaling myself on a quotidian.
Shooting would be quicker.
But then, I stop and think about my public.
What public?
I love those little people out there, Rosalind. You can't let them down now, can I?
Of course you can. You do it all the time.
I guess man must endure his going hence, even as he's coming hither. Wasn't he?
Not necessarily.
Well, thank you, Rosalind. I feel much better now. Say, what are you doing after the show, cutie? Beat it, creep!
Ganymede, alias Rosalind, alias Audrey, announces to all concerned that she will shortly solve all problems and thus end the play. Praise the Lord. Woo!
Did your mother tell you how I counterfeited to school when you showed me your bloody handkerchief?
Aye, greater wonders than that.
Tis true. Your brother and my sister no sooner met but they looked. No sooner looked but they loved. No sooner loved but they asked one another the reason. No sooner knew the reason but they sought the remedy. And in these degrees they had made a pair of stairs which they will climb incontinent, or be incontinent before marriage. Oh, they are in the very wrath of love, and they will be together. Love cannot part them.
They shall be married tomorrow.
Fare you well. I've left you command.
A day passes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 24. A day has passed. It's now tomorrow, and the moment you've all been waiting for. The good Duke arrives just in time for the big finish, in which all 27 characters gather for the traditional end of the comedy wedding orgy and pep rally. This I gotta see.
Dost thou believe, Orlando, that this boy can do all that he hath promised?
I sometimes do believe and sometimes do not, as those that fear they hope and know they fear.
You say that if I bring in your wardrobe, you will bestow her gift to Orlando.
That would I have thy kingdom to give her.
And you will have her if I bring her in.
That would I right, King of all kingdoms.
And you will marry me if I be willing. That would I when I die the hour after. But if you refuse to marry me, you will give yourself to this most faithful shepherd. So is the bargain. And you will have Phoebe if she be willing.
Don't say life and death were both one thing.
Come hence, I'm going to make my doubts.
I do see in the shepherd boy some lively touches of my daughter's favor.
Salutations and greetings to you all.
Good my lord,
after some obfuscation, was converted both from his enterprise and from the world. His crown bequeathed to his banished brother, and all the lands restored to them again that were with him exiled. Well, more or less.
Thou offers fairly to thy brother's wedding. To one his land withheld, to the other a land itself at large, a potent dukedom. But first, let us do those ends in this forest that here were well begun and well begot. And all this happy number, who have endured true days and nights with us, shall share in the good of our returned fortune. Meantime, let's forget this new-fallen dignity and fall into our rustic revelry.
I'll bring to them. Sir, by your patience, I heard you rightly. The Duke hath put on a religious life, thrown into neglect the pompous court. Yep. Him will I. Out of these convertites, there's much matter to be heard and learned. You to your former honor I bequeath, your patience and your virtue well deserved. You to a love that your true faith doth merit. You to land and love and who's that one for?
Sylvius, I think.
Yeah, but I'm Sylvius, see.
Well, just skip that and go on.
Okay. You to well-deserved bed. Wait, who's that one for?
Oliver.
Yeah, I'm Oliver too.
You've gotten this far, don't blow it now. See the last line. You are for more than dancing measures that shall wait to know my abandoned cave.
What happened to Hyman? Doesn't Hyman come in before that?
Praise, we left out Hyman.
Hymen, god of marriage!
Peace ho! I bar conclusion. 'Tis I must make confusion. Oh, wedding is great Juno's crown. Oh, blessed bond of board and bed.
God, I love a parade! Don't you love a parade?
'Tis I with people's every town. I wedlock that we honored. When Grissy Joan doth kill the pot, and the little bee sucks my apricot.
Dance, dance, our rustic family, all singing, all dancing! It was a lover and his lass with a hey and a ho and a hey and a ho. I'm so ashamed.
Celia,
Leave me alone. I told you it wasn't going to work out. Don't kid yourselves. Why did you put us through all this? We've committed an obscenity. We have. We've just about managed to destroy one of the greatest pieces of dramatic literature of all time. We've desecrated the memory of William Shakespeare. We've humiliated ourselves in front of all these imaginary, wretched idiots out here. Just what is all this for? What was it supposed to lead?
It's not the lady to see the fake fashion. It's not the fashion to see the lady in the epilogue.
Aubrey, nobody wants to hear your stupid epilogue. I want to know what the point was. What was the point of even trying? Do you hear that, Shakespeare? You money-grubbing opportunist, a reactionary old hack? What was the point? What in God's name was the point? No. Oh, no. All the world's a stage? And all the men and women merely players? They have their exits and their entrances. And one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. And then the schoolboy with his satchel and shiny morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace, with a woeful ballad made to his mistress' eyebrow. And then the soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation, even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly, with good cape and lined, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances, and so he plays his part. The 6 age ships, to the lean and slippered pantaloon. His youthful hose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank, and his big manly voice, turning again toward childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. The last scene of all that ends this strange, eventful history is second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
Tell you what, I gotta run for a second. You stay.
She turned around and there was my aunt. There was a young maiden, Aunt Eliza, who said that
What's mine? All right, whenever you guys are ready, just come on up and take it. Surf's up. Good one.
You gotta clean it out. Make room for these columns and junk. Hello, this is Geraldo Rivera. We're going to check out Al Capone's house over here somewhere. Just
No, off stage, out into the house. We'll start from out there.
the platforms and junk that we use. Doorway from Gingerbread Lady. And do we find Al Capone? Find his younger brother, Manuel. I was clipping that just this morning. What needs to be done?
Clear the metal. If it's on the floor, get rid of it. If it looks like garbage, toss it. If it doesn't look like garbage, I don't care what you do with it. Just get it out of the way.
I feel like I should be helping you, Joyce.
No, this is billions and billions of leftover props from past days. That came here from Man Who Came to Dinner, that chandelier. This is styrofoam from Dracula. Also used in The Lion in Winter. One of these coffins is from Man Who Came to Dinner, as were those lights.
And the gingerbread lady.
Yeah, the gingerbread, yeah, right. This was already here when you came. When I came. 6 years ago, that coffin. Want me to get the push broom and clean this out?
Or just about how the floor looks, just get it clear.
Right.
How am I gonna put this?
Well, we could heft it up there.
No, we can't. Not enough room.
Slide it in through this?
No, those 2x4s are bowing already.
Oh.
Just Looks good. Same with this.
Table and lamp from Wayside?
Yeah, this we can put up.
Well, I think we did this one.
Danny? Some of this masonite's not in such bad shape. I mean, it's got a second side. Why not?
Hey, you got it?
Okay, one person is sitting on the ladder, wall going.
What is all this stuff, Trev?
Huh?
What is all this stuff?
The lights, I think. Power pack dimmer. I don't know, these are all the lights. Yeah, I think so. All right, it's Tom. Tell me. What? What are these
All this
things?
stuff.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
You want the, okay. You ready? Okay. Get out. Sweep. Someone's we're acting and sweeping. Even acting is questionable. We'll start from the very minute. With all the lights and everything. Get out. These are all the circuit breakers for each individual socket. Okay?
Einstein's theory of light.
Shut up. These are all the plugs. So, say like this plug goes to number 100. Is it okay? You got that? 100. Yeah, that's 100. Otherwise, it's 001. Take this one, say you have something plugged into socket 100, and you want to put it on dimmer 12. You just put it into dimmer 12, and then put the switch on.
Oh, okay. So all those sockets down there aren't all live right now.
Right. These individual things are for all the dimmers themselves on the board in the booth. So these are the circuit breakers for the dimmers, and these are the circuit breakers for the individual plugs. Okay? Anything else?
Well, I guess that about covers it.
This is a telephone. This is the wires for the telephone. This is lattice work.
Very nice.
Did you see the booth? Did you go into the booth yet?
Oh, the sound, or,
The lighting booth with the board and sliders.
No, I haven't been up there.
We'll walk over them now.
Alright.
And apply the two things to one.
Tom, want to get over here? Just more hands. What you need? No, Tom, this way. Stanley. All right, let's start. Guys, start tipping it down. Onishi and I hold it up.
Yeah, no, just
Need someone to hold that fluid though. Hold this, Laura. I'm away from
Can we have a couple more hands over here, please?
Okay. Somebody lift it up more. Hold it. Wait, get over there. I have to push that pillar out. Just hold this up. Guys, hold it up. You ready? Okay, ready?
Yeah. Mike, why don't you come over here on my side?
All right.
Okay, I'm coming down.
Okay. Coming up too. Take it over here. Catch it. No. Okay. Come. All right, bring it down. Straight down. Whoa. Mike, get out of there. Get off from under.
There you go.
Okay, put it down. Bring it down. Chair's out of the way.
Let's put it down.
Okay. Just lay it down.
This is what it looks like. Big down.
Okay. Lighting booth.
Jeez.
All right, I want you to do don't fall back.
Okay. And then this is the board where we control all the lights. So if you remember, we had the dimmer packs controlling each dimmer, the circuit breakers for each dimmer, and then the circuit breakers for each individual light. So once you plug everything in, you know, with the big plugs, putting those in, and then flick the circuit breaker back on, they're now plugged into whatever dimmer that you have patched it into. And then all you do is you just slide the dimmer. Nothing's happening because all the lights are on already. They're all on up there. So, and then what you can do is, the reason why there are two rows here, so that you can you can have something going here, and then set something up over here, and then just switch between the two using these. Okay. This is for the X scene, which is this one. This is for the Y scene, which is this one.
This one is 10 up on top and 0 down on the bottom. And this one is 0 on top, so 10 on the bottom. So to crossfade between scenes, all you have to do is just move both of them at the same time. Okay? Any other questions? This over here is controlling the sound system, which isn't very good because the acoustics suck! I'm sorry. This is somebody's CD player. Radio, and it's just all patched in through here. And that's that.
Where the genuine Shakespearean music is broadcast from.
Yes.
So
And
we're all
then
treated to.
these just control sort of things. Repatching from thing to thing, and this is just an equalizer, which stinks, and all the rest of it there. And again, we have a telephone.
There's a lot of these.
So there you go. All right.
Drop in, lift it over. Wait a minute, where's it going? Upstairs?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do this. Got it. Keep walking. Yes. Get your hand out of there. Okay. Let me get up there with you, Mom?
Oh, I got this.
Drop his light. Ned or Chris? Just pile it?
Just tap it all on that, right on top of the roof piece, like way flat like this.
We're over here.
Tim. Watch the nails.
You flip it out that way?
Pull it out. Pull it out.
Pull it out. Yeah, that's going to come down on stage. Just make sure I'm on the stage. Yeah. All right, so ready? Yeah. Oh, slide it.
Take the homicide off here.
Any drill? This one's still got screws in it. Back. Stand up there. Hold on to it. Down, right? Hold on to it. You got a drill?
The drill man.
Drill man coming. Go the other way.
Teasing the trigger there, Tom?
Tease that trigger.
Okay, now go around the corner. Perfect.
Alright,
Got it?
Alright, Timmy, get up here. Open your... And somebody. We're gonna move these platforms onto here so we can stack them here instead.
Wait a minute, down there.
Wait. What's down there?
Taking it down the side. Hold on, hold on.
Just shove it.
Get it up. Biblical stuff. Head down there.
Wait.
Pull it out.